Lucy Connolly's appeal against her 31-month sentence for a very nasty tweet that she wrote in the wake of the Southport attacks, indeed on the day. Deleted 3.5 hours later, but she got sentenced to 31 months after she pleaded guilty to inciting racial hatred. She appealed last Thursday. The court gave their judgment at about 11 o'clock today in a written statement that she was not going to have her sentence reduced. However, she is likely to be out on early release in August, but nevertheless a year behind bars for, well, Hurty words. Is that reasonable? Let's talk to Mike Neville. He's a former Metropolitan Police Detective, Chief Inspector, and joins us once again. Good afternoon to you, Mike.
Good afternoon, Julia, from Spain.
Oh, from Spain. Like, how did you cope with your e-gates? Did they work under this new Brexit reset?
No, they didn't. We had to show our passports and get stamps.
There we are. We're still having to do that, aren't we? I'm really worried. Given all the travelling I do, I'm going to go through passports pretty quickly on that basis. But anyway, let's talk about Lucy Connolly, because she ain't going anywhere, certainly until August. What did you make of, first of all, the original sentence and the fact that the appeal court has decided that she shouldn't have it reduced, even though some people who took part in the actual riots post-Southport got lower sentences?
Well, I think, Julia, we look at the purpose of prison. The purpose of prison really is to keep us safe. And what threat is she? So if we look, for example, we're told there's a limited number of places and it's 99% full. So yeah, they're already releasing burglars, drug dealers, violent men. If you look
domestic
at people
abusers,
who carry knives, yeah, domestic. Let's look at people who carry knives. Less than 30% of people who carry a knife go to prison,
yeah, and
they go to prison for 6 or 7 months on average. And also what you have is this issue of the two-tier system where are your beliefs one way or the other? So for example, there's a case, Sarah Jane Baker. She was the trans activist who shouted into a microphone, punch an effing turf.
Yeah.
She was found not guilty of incitement on that.
But that was these were direct words, okay? Found not guilty by a court of law, but to a crowd, telling people openly, inciting them to violence.
Oh, that's right. We have the Kent councillor at the same.
Without naming any names, there is a case that is still going to court. It's
allegedly.
It's subject. Okay, just in case. Allegedly. Okay, there's just.
And then we have the three women who were found guilty of supporting terrorism, who had the hang gliding stickers on their backs during the Palestinian marches.
Yeah.
They received a 12-month conditional discharge. That means nothing. You walk out of court on the day. So what it tells people is that if you support one side of the political debate, it would seem that you get treated differently from the other, because Lucy Connolly is no risk to me, you, or anybody else. She said vile and nasty words on the thing. She should have been cautioned for that. She's a woman with no previous conviction.
And you think that there should have been some action over the tweet? I mean, again, just to remind everyone what she said, because I do think it's important when we're discussing this, we know what she said. Mass deportation now, this was within hours of the Southport attack. We knew that little girls had died, and this is when the rumours were still going on that it was an asylum seeker. That was completely false. Mass deportation now, set fire to all the effing hotels full of the bees, for all I care. She used the actual words. If that makes me racist, so be it. She then deleted that tweet later, just within 3.5 hours. There were lots of other mitigating factors. She herself had lost a child to illness years earlier. You think that there should have been some sort of police action about that?
Police go around and say this is completely unacceptable and remove it or whatever. But it is something which could have been dealt with in a much better way and freeing up a prison place. The other really strange thing about all this, Julie, is when at the time, Keir Starmer, a man who keeps telling us about his being a lawyer and the Director of Public Prosecutions, he made a big deal about I can't say anything about Axel Ruder-Cabana.
Yeah.
I can't say anything about his motives, the fact that he knew within hours he had rice in an Al-Qaeda handbook. I can't say anything about that. It would have impacted on the court. And yet he felt nothing about saying all these right-wing thugs who are whipping up things online. And we now know that was completely false. The people who were found guilty of the riot and the like often travelled less than a mile to go to do their stupid.
And most of them already had, they were already had a string of offences for violence and disorder already. Yes. And again, this is the HM Inspector of Constabulary finding that actually there weren't ideological motives. If we see, as we've seen, it's like the 2011 riots, mostly in London. It was just people out for a good ruck, basically, and a bit of shoplifting.
Absolutely, and it's a free go. You can have a go at the authorities. You can have a go with your mates. It's like being involved in some kind of football hooliganism. All completely stupid, completely wicked, attacking police officers who don't deserve to be attacked. But no central organisation as that was alleged. But I just think all the time, Julie, people used to trust the police in this country. They used to trust the courts. Our justice system, our policing was seen as some of the best in the world. And we're told by the top all the time, oh, it's not two-tier. Yeah. And it's just like 1984. You can't believe the evidence of your own eyes.
That's the thing. Just finally, very briefly, if you would, we also learned today that Tommy Robinson, a.k.a. Stephen Yaxley-Lennon, he was jailed in October after admitting multiple breaches of an injunction. Basically, it was contempt of court. This is over a libelous video he's kept putting out about a Syrian refugee. And he's basically going to be released from his 18-month sentence for the civil offence of contempt of court. It was reduced by 4 months at the High Court today, so he's going to be due to released in the next week. What do you make of that decision?
What I would say is that prison is, if we've got limited places, we need to put violent men in jail. We need to put knife carriers, people who carry guns, burglars, drug dealers and robbers into prison. And if we've got any space left, then we can think about other things. Okay. But let's use the prisons to keep us safe.
OK. Mike Neville, so appreciate joining us, former Met Police Detective Chief Inspector.